So far this year, NAU Athletics has seen a vast amount of success with their teams across the board. Now, we all know that Flagstaff, and more in particular NAU, is known for their cross-country team success. And every year, this team never ceases to amaze me. This past weekend, the men and women were in Terre Haute, Indiana for the NCAA Cross Country Championships. The men finished the race with 118 points, which would put them in 4th place. This is their 3rd straight year that these men have had a podium finish, and the 5th podium finish for the Lumberjacks since coach Eric Hines took charge 8 years ago. NAU Cross Country footsome Ziana Selassie led the Jacks, finishing 3rd overall, which is his career best for an NCAA championship finish. Matt McElroy was the next Lumberjack to come in 31st overall with a 10K time of 30:49:10, followed by Caleb Hoover, who brought home his 2nd All-American medal back home to Flagstaff, finishing in 36th place. And over on the women's side, Melanie Townsend was the only woman to make it to the NCAA Cross Country Championships, as she finished 56th overall with a time of 20:55:70. Assistant coach Leah Rosenfeld talked about Melanie's performance, saying, quote, "Melanie's performance today is a good step in the right direction for the entire women's program. To have the experience of being at the national championships is excellent. She can bring that back to the team." And the NAU women's volleyball team finished their season 21-8 overall and 11-5 in conference play. They put up a tough fight throughout the season, taking the team to the Big Sky playoffs. Unfortunately, what these women were seeing was deja vu from last season's playoff run. On Thursday, the women were in Pocatello, Idaho for the Big Sky quarterfinals, where they faced off against Idaho. It was smooth sailing for these women, with Sydney Kemper putting up 12 kills and Stacia putting up 12 kills and 12 digs, with Stacia Williams leading with 18 digs and Janae Vanderplug finishing with 8 kills and 17 digs. This helped the Lady Jacks take a 3-0 victory. Now on Friday for the semifinals was a different story. NAU took on Idaho State, and the Bengals put up a pretty good fight. Williams had 29 digs. Lauren Jacobson finished with 9 kills and 17 digs, while Kemper had 18 kills and 10 digs. Now, despite these big numbers, NAU fell to Idaho State 3-2. But after this loss, Idaho State and Northern Colorado faced off for the Big Sky Finals, where Northern Colorado took the 3-0 win. Well, switching things over to the paint, the NAU women's basketball season has started, and although it has been an up-down start to their season, they are still going strong. Just yesterday on Sunday, the women were in the Rolle Activity Center to take on UC Santa Barbara. Erica Banks led the Lady Jacks with 33 points, snagging 7 rebounds, as Raven Anderson had 14 points, 8 rebounds with 2 assists. NAU led UCSB in rebounds 39-26. The Lady Jacks brought home another win for the night as they beat the Gauchos 67-49. Their next game will be on Wednesday at Texas Arlington. And for the men's basketball team, they were on the road for the start of their season, and then finally were home for their first home game against Fresno State. On Thursday night for the pajama party in the Rolle Activity Center, the Jacks started out strong and kept that mentality rolling throughout the game. The Jacks showed great ball movement in the second half as Asim Dixon gives it to Jordan Martin. Martin drives it to the basket, where he finds Quentin Upster on the wing for the 3. Starting with great defense, Chris Yonku knocks the ball loose, where Galen Buernick picks up the ball and throws down for an easy dunk. The Jacks went on to win this game 73-52, and then on Sunday they took a trip all the way to Mississippi for their non-conference game against Ole Miss. Now, when we think of Ole Miss, I suppose it's just that we think of their really good football team. Well, the Jacks had them run for their money on the court. The Jacks fell to Ole Miss with a close loss of 80-74. This was their first game of 4 for the Emerald Coast Classic, as their next game will be tomorrow at Middle Tennessee. On Saturday, 18 seniors stepped on the field in the Skydome for what would be their last time of the season. The Lumberjacks played their final game against Southern Utah, and it didn't go quite as some might have thought. Quarterback Chase Cartwright was 18 for 31 with 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Elijah Marks and Casey Yon each had a touchdown, with Marks running 40 yards and Yon putting up 70 yards for the day. The Jacks finished their season 7-5 overall and 5-3 in conference play, as they fell to the Thunderbirds 22-14. This loss snapped the Lumberjacks' 9-game regular season win streak at home, dating all the way back to 2012. Well, over on the ice, the NAU IceJacks, they were busy with the Division II team being on the road, and the Division III team, they were here at Jay Lively. For their first game of the weekend on Friday, NAU hosted ASU's Pac-8 team and fell to the Sun Devils 3-2. The IceJacks wouldn't let them loose both days, so they stepped up their game for Saturday as they beat ASU 7-5. The D3 team's next game will be Friday, December 5th and Saturday, December 6th in Valencia, California to take on College of the Canyons. Now, while the Division III team was here in Flagstaff, the Division II team traveled to Utah for the Beehive Showcase. For their first game for the showcase on Thursday, NAU took on the University of Utah, where they took the win 5-2. For their second game on Friday, the IceJacks took on San Jose State, and this game went into overtime after being a tied match 3-3. 2 minutes and 33 seconds into overtime, NAU's Zach Fader scored the game winner for the IceJacks to win 4-3. And then on Saturday, the IceJacks took on Weber State, and to say the least, the Wildcats weren't really in the game as NAU took the 6-1 win. And then for their final game of the showcase on Sunday, the IceJacks met up with Utah State and took the 5-4 win. The IceJacks will have a nice Thanksgiving break, and then will be back on the ice at home on December 5th and 6th as they take on ASU.